आप सबका है।
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching CNN News 18. This is Nation at 5 with me, Poonam Burde. The politics over the Indo-China clash on December 9th in Arunachal's Tawang continues. This time it echoed in the parliament in both houses today as well. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge presided over an opposition meeting ahead of that session to discuss the strategy of the opposition, a united one at that. Like yesterday, we saw ruckus today as well in both houses, in Lok Sabha and in Rajya Sabha. The opposition even walked out of the Rajya Sabha, accusing the government of keeping the nation in the dark. They want a deep discussion on the situation at the line of actual control. They say Defence Minister's statement yesterday is not going to suffice. Now remember, Rajnath Singh yesterday on the floor of the House said it was a unilateral attempt to change status quo by the Chinese troops, but our brave Jawans pushed them back to their command post.
भारत और चीन के बीच जो अप्रैल 2020 से तनाव चल रहा है, उस पे एक बार भी संसद में चर्चा नहीं हुई। हमारे जो जांबाज सिपाही हैं, वो चीन का मुंह तोड़ जवाब दे रहे हैं, चाहे गलवान हो चाहे यांगसी हो। पर चीन की मंशा क्या है, चीन क्यों तनाव बढ़ा रहा है सरहद के ऊपर, इसके लिए संसद में एक व्यापक चर्चा की ज़रूरत है। और इसीलिए मैंने कल भी और आज भी काम रोको प्रस्ताव दिया है और उसको लोकसभा में उठाएंगे।
सबसे पहले तो जो स्टेटमेंट था, वो स्टेटमेंट अधूरा था। उसमें ये जानकारी नहीं दी कि ये अग्रेशन क्यों हुआ, क्यों इस तरीके के क्लैशेस हुए, क्यों ये ऐसी नौबत आई और क्यों ऐसा है कि बार बार चाइना की तरफ से ये अग्रेशन दिख रहा है। उन्होंने ये तक जवाब नहीं दिया कि 9 तारीख को ये घटना हुई है और हमारी सरकार बिल्कुल चुप बैठी हुई थी जब तक एक अखबार ने इसके बारे में खुलासा नहीं किया। हम भी चाहते थे कि कुछ क्लैरिफिकेशंस, राज्यसभा के ऑपोजिशन एमपीज़ को ये अधिकार है कि क्लैरिफिकेशंस मांग सकते हैं और बहुत अनगिनत एग्जाम्पल्स भी हैं, पर उन्होंने सवाल भी नहीं लिए। तो मैं मानती हूँ कि कहीं ना कहीं जो सरकार को अपनी जिम्मेदारी संभालनी चाहिए, वहाँ पे वो विफल रही है।
इसमें केंद्र सरकार ने, देखो, जब ये घटना घटी उसके 5 दिन बाद इसका स्टेटमेंट आया है और ऐसा कुछ नहीं आया स्टेटमेंट में जो अखबारों में नहीं आ रहा है। तो सरकार को चाहिए डिबेट उस पर हो, चर्चा करें, विपक्ष के लोगों को कॉन्फिडेंस मिले। पूरे देश की एक एक जनता, एक एक नागरिक हमारी फौज के साथ खड़ी हुई है। इसमें पार्टी की कोई बात ही नहीं है। लेकिन हमारी सीमाओं पर अगर टेंशन है, अगर लगातार वहाँ आक्रमण हो रहा है या अतिक्रमण करने की कोशिश की जा रही है, तो उसको मुंहतोड़ जवाब देना चाहिए और पूरा देश सरकार के साथ खड़ा है। लेकिन कम से कम बिना पारदर्शिता लाए हम कैसे आगे बढ़ेंगे? सच्चाई के साथ चर्चा करें और हमारे लोगों को संबल दें। हमारे जवान, हमारे सैनिक, हमारे फौजी, उन पर हमें फक्र है। हम अपना शीश नमन करते हैं उनके सामने।
How would you like to react to the entire situation brewing on Indo-China border?
First thing is, as far as the country is concerned, we are united. No question of political statements or political accusation, attacks on any party or the ruling party also. But at the same time, when this incident took place on 9th of December, why Parliament was kept away from this information? China is the country which cannot be trusted. We have experienced it. Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. From that day onwards, we are experiencing China's very
betraying us.
They are invaders.
Okay.
They are invaders.
Okay.
They are always the invaders. They acted like invaders only. And all those Mughal histories, country, those history, like that only that country is behaving. It's not good for the entire world. And therefore, we appreciate that the US has also deployed it.
Continuous disruptions, adjournments in both houses of parliament is what we've seen over the last 24 hours. It happened yesterday, it happened today as well. So what exactly is the opposition charge and how is the government or the BJP defending it? So let's just break this down for our viewers before we open this up for debate. Now, the opposition alleges that centre is hiding facts about the Tawang clash. Like you heard all of these politicians come out and say that it happened on the 9th, the parliament was in session. Why did we find out from the media about it on the 12th? Then the BJP counters saying that the defence minister has already briefed the parliament, the statement has been made and all those facts are now on record. The opposition then questioned as to why there was a delay of those 3 days. Why was the parliament not apprised right when it happened? The BJP says you cannot have ball-to-ball commentary on issues that are of national security. These things cannot be rushed into. There cannot be live telecasts about it. And as and when information was available, it was given to the parliament on the floor of the house as protocol demands. The opposition, though, continues with its act. They say that the government is shying away from a discussion. Why just a statement? Why not have a discussion? This is something that the opposition raised right after Rajnath Singh's statement yesterday as well. To which the BJP and the government says that the parliament is apprised, MPs have been apprised from time to time as far as all of the issues regarding China have been concerned over the last 2 years, ever since the Galwan clash. But the opposition attacks keep on coming. They only say now that the statement has been made after there was pressure from the media because the news was already out, and really there is a need for a discussion which the government is running away from. The BJP and the government says that we are ready for discussion, but you are the one that is not letting the parliament function. They also go on to say that there is no such precedent that after a statement, the minister would indulge the opposition or the house in a discussion. Yes, we're open for discussion, says the government, when the time is right. Arunima, my colleague, now joins us for more on this, and she's been tracking all the developments in this case as far as what's happening in Parliament is concerned. And Arunima, it doesn't look like the opposition is going to let this go. They will keep up the heat in the following days as well.
Yes, they made it very clear that, they are asking some questions to which they are not getting answers. And to quote Sanjay Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party, in a democracy, the only way you can register your point is through protest, and they will continue to protest. Walkout is something they decided on today if the adjournment motion was not accepted. And led by Sonia Gandhi in Lok Sabha and Mallikarjun Kharge in Rajya Sabha, they did carry out a walkout. Now, the Business Advisory Committee is meeting regularly to figure out what should be discussed, what shouldn't be discussed. And in that, at the BAC meeting, if the government and the opposition manage to build some kind of a consensus, perhaps we'll see a discussion on China. But currently, the government seems to be in no mood. They feel they've already laid out the facts of the case. It's a matter of national security, and nothing more needs to be said on it. The opposition standpoint that even during the war in 1962, on Atal Bihari Vajpayee's request, Jawaharlal Nehru answered all questions. So why is this government any different?
Right, so the government is firm on its stand. They've also said that we will have a discussion when the time is right. You cannot rush into national security issues, and which is exactly what is at stake here. Arunima, thank you so much for getting us the latest. Is there just politics going on? Is national security being politicized by the opposition at a time when we should be standing as one, as an entire country, not divided by our political ideologies? That's the question we ask here on Nation at 5. And joining me on this broadcast is BJP spokesperson Anila Singh, spokesperson of the Congress, Wing Commander Anuma Acharya also with us, spokesperson of the TMC, Professor Manojit Mandal, and national spokesperson of the Rashtriya Lok Janshakti Party, Sanjay Saraf, also with us on this broadcast. And I'd like to begin with Wing Commander Anuma Acharya. Wing Commander, these are issues that are of national security. The government is saying we're open for discussion. We came out and gave you a statement in Parliament, in both houses yesterday. From time to time, the government has been taking all of the parties, all of the stakeholders on board. Discussions have been happening. There are parliamentary committees as well over the last couple of years that have been presiding over these issues. When the time is right, we will have a discussion. The government is not shying away. Why then hold Parliament hostage, as some would say is being done? Because all we're seeing is disruptions in both houses.
Look, last year we have seen same thing in the winter session. The government was shying away from discussing various issues. And in the meantime, you have seen a committee scheme like Agnipath scheme has come up, which is not only a security concern, that is a kind of cheating to our youth also, and the strength of our armed forces also. So even this kind of scheme was not discussed in the parliament. Then which is the scheme they are going to, which is the thing they are going to discuss with the people? See, in the constitution, our constitution was framed in 2 years, 18 months and 21 days. Now look here, that constitution was, why it has taken so much of time? Because it is a discussion based constitution. So our democracy lies in discussion, and the important matters must be discussed before they are tabled, before they are formalized. Here in this particular case, the government should have taken the leaders of opposition in confidence, and they could have shared the things with them. Instead, they are neither talking to the leader of opposition, neither they are going to talk about it, because it's a one-side statement. And you said that government has been discussing which issue, which one? Whether the farm laws were discussed? No. Agnipath was discussed? No. Labor laws were discussed? No. Parliamentary committees, you're talking about parliamentary committees. They have removed the leaders of people of opposition from those committees. I think there is hardly any committee in which the leader opposition people are there. So with all that, government's idea is not to be responsible, not to take responsibility of their shortcomings. And one shortcoming is that despite 16 military level talks, there is only one talk that happened at the level of the defense minister, only 1.5 talk, which is at the level of the external affairs minister, and nil talks at the level of the country head. So this is what opposition wants, a responsibility and an answer from the ruling party.
Sure, I will let the BJP spokesperson on the panel respond to that. But Wing Commander Acharya, I just want to ask you one thing, because you've served in our forces as well, served for the country. And I would like to get in that perspective as well. When issues like this happen, when there are confrontations like this, when there's situations like these arise, which have to be dealt with the people on ground, shouldn't then we not politicize this entire matter, give it time, answers will come? Yes, you're right, and asking answers from the government, but what is the hurry? Why was there a delay of 3 days? Why were we not told the minute it happened? Perhaps the wisdom of the government, of the forces on ground, is something that was looked into, which is why that judgment call was made.
Can I reply?
Yes, please go ahead.
Here the case is not so. What government is trying to propagate, what narrative government is trying to set in. See, without any, this is a universal truth that our armed forces are respected. But our government is not giving them a force multiplying, effect. Our government is talking. They are talking, but our military is talking, and they are talking 16 times. But that force multiplying happens only when you talk on the diplomatic level. So you are kind of insulting our armed forces, and we want to know why. Why this country, this government only wants to use armed forces for political purpose, for electoral purpose, but why they don't force multiply them when a time has come? Why can't they do it?
Anila Singh, the BJP is shying away not only from a debate in Parliament, but the allegation is also this, that you're doing a disservice to our forces on ground, because you're not helping them fight the battles that in the first place they perhaps shouldn't be, is the allegation the opposition is making.
My Ram Ram to everyone, and I am not at all surprised the way Congress is behaving or reacting, or they are trying to politicize the whole matter. Number one, when we talk about our national security, it cannot be discussed on public platform. If any of the opposition leader, they want to have in-depth knowledge about it, they can go and meet the defense minister or the prime minister or any of the ministers they want to go and they want to dig more knowledge about it. So when the matter is about, when the subject is about the national security, it cannot be discussed on public platform. I think this much they should understand very clearly. They are in opposition and they are one of the big parties in opposition. And secondly, when we talk about the Congress party, we very well know whatever the scenario which we are facing, whole of the nation is facing, is all because of the Congress party. The policy towards China, the laxity towards China, their hidden understanding and MOUs with the China. Is Congress party going to answer that what happened in 1962? 37,224 square kilometers of land was snatched away during UPA in 2008. If we talk about the area, Chubur area, which was around 250 kilometers, that was snatched away. 2000 again, we know it very well that Chinese army, they took away the Demzo. And similarly, whether we talk about 2008 to 2009 and from 2008 to 13, like more than 600 times Chinese troops, they invaded the border. They do not have to say anything about it. And we very well know that what happened in 1962 and in before that continuously.
Sure, so the Congress doesn't have any high moral ground to question you on this, is the allegation the BJP is making. And Wing Commander Acharya, I saw your hand going up there. I need to get in the two other panelists as well, so quick rebuttal.
See, the thing is, as per our grazing records, because whatever has been spoken by the BJP spokesperson is blatant lie. It is just another narrative. But I must tell you, as per grazing record on ground, our grazers are dependent on a certain area in Arunachal Pradesh, and they have been going there for grazing. But now what is happening is certain grazers of Chinese side, they are permanently staying there, and Xi Jinping personally has felicitated them, whereas our government, our administration has not helped them. As a result, this happened, which has happened now. This clash has happened. So my point here is, whatever has been spoken, whatever, every sentence is a narrative, a part of a narrative. But here, government has to give a reply to the people. People of India may not be direct. See, the parliament is not a public forum. You can always switch off your other media things and you can discuss that matter, or you can discuss with the leader of opposition. Why can't this be discussed? Why a faith has not been established between the opposition party, whether it is a matter of Pegasus, whether it is a matter of Agnipath, whether it is any issue? All these narratives,
right? So consensus building is important, is what you're trying to say. Yeah, so consensus building is important, and the gap needs to be bridged by the center, and the onus is on the center to do so, especially as far as national security concerns are concerned. Sanjay Saraf, would you agree? The opposition is all within its rights to ask these questions and demand answers out of the opposition. It is a national security issue, after all, like the BJP and the center is saying.
Yeah, of course, it is a national security issue. Opposition is always welcome. We never say that opposition is not, but it is very clear opposition should go to Honorable Defence Minister's cabin and they should discuss with him what is going on, how you people are preparing. Opposition also knows what our army forces are doing at ground zero, how they are behaving with China, how they are thrown out China forces. That is the reason they are frustrated as on that opposition. They feel there should have been same type of situation as what has happened at the time of UPA. That is the reason they have lost their minds. They are just discussing that thing today. Manish Tiwari came out from this. He is just going to, if they have really guts, they should discuss what has happened since last 60 years till Nehruji and all those people, when they have given UN. In UN, they have given special place to China in place of India. Today, we are just moving from pillar to post to get those type of things what has been given by UPA. So it is not like that. We are very serious. Our forces are very serious, and we are doing for nation. Earlier, it was a position whenever China has just started this type of actions, they were coming from Ladakh. On the other side, our Andhra Pradesh was also, it was looking we are weak from, but today we are fully prepared from all the corners. All LACs are very clear and all the forces are at ground zero. That is the reason. We always welcome opposition if they have
but
a
Sanjay Saraf, the allegation is not against the army or armed forces at all. The opposition says our military is doing a wonderful job. It's the leadership, it's the political leadership that is faltering.
No. It is the political leadership. That is the reason. We have a very sincere, honest and dedicated leadership. Our Honorable Prime Minister, Home Minister and Honorable Defence Minister is fully supporting our forces. That is the reason forces are at ground zero with full esteem. They know their leaders are honest enough. They know their leaders are not like Mr. Antonian, those people who have told that time we have no funds for the ammunition and other things. They know everything. That is the reason our forces are fully forced, with full esteem, working for nation at ground zero. That is the reason opposition is very much frustrated. They want that something negative should come, they want to raise the issue. If opposition is really very serious, if they have some solid pointers to discuss related nation, they should go to Defence Minister's place and give his suggestions. But whenever and whatever the situation will be clear, everything will be seen, everything is under control. Our Honorable Prime Minister will speak on behalf of the nation, on behalf of the forces. There is nothing like that. We have never gone out of the park. We are always ready for discussion. They are secured for discussing national issues. But as on date, this is not the proper time to discuss. Let them wait. Let them have proper patience. There is a parliament is till 15th of Jan, so they can have discussions. We have nothing to worry for.
So Professor Mandal, the allegation is the opposition is frustrated. They are just impatient. And they're not letting House function because of that.
You can't talk about, issues which have got no connection with the reality. Saying that the government is allowing discussion. I give you the data. Over several hundred discussion under 267, Rule 267 have been shunted, dismissed by the government in the last few years. Several hundred of them, including the issues related to farm law, Pegasus, and any bill, every bill that they have passed, almost without discussion, 9% of the bills were only discussed. So more than 91% of the bills that they have passed in the last 8-9 years were without any discussion. And here he is talking about discussion. Nevertheless, when it comes to the issue of national security, foreign policy, we are absolutely one with the government. There is no denying the fact. This is a stated position of the Trinamool Congress, which our supreme leader, Mamata Banerjee, has categorically maintained that we are one with the government, but you have to take us on board.
Trinamool Congress
You
did
have
not
to
allow
talk to
today
peace.
CBI people to enter
Please,
West Bengal.
please don't.
How can you say you are one with the government?
I have been patiently waiting for you.
And Sanjay
You-
Saraf,
you
let's
people
not mix
have
two
not
issues.
allowed-
Let's
What
stick
is
to
it?
Sanjay
Look
Saraf,
at-
let's
look
not
at-
mix
this is
two
the way
issues.
they
Let's
behave.
stick to the debate at hand and let's
This
talk
is the
about
way the
what
government
exactly
behaves.
has transpired on the
What
border
my
at the
good-
line of actual control and the repercussions
let me
that are
complete.
and the repercussions that we are feeling in Parliament. Professor Mandal, go ahead.
This is symptomatic of their behavior. What they do inside the studio and even inside the Parliament. They don't allow others to speak, especially the opposition. We are deeply concerned about what is happening, and not just once. It's happening regularly. We know all know what happened in Galwan just 1.5 years ago. Now it's happening in Arunachal. Some days back it happened in the border of Bhutan. So this is happening every time. And let me tell you, after that Kargil war, India has not seen this kind of conflicts for the last 20 years. This is happening in this regime, suggesting that everything is not okay with the government. They can't talk about the 56-inch ka chhati or macho muscular nationalism. But the Chinese aggression has become almost a regular feature in this country.
Sure, then why not call out China?
We
Why
want
not
to ask
call
the
the actual
government.
villain
We are
here,
with
which
the
is the
government.
aggressor, which is
But-
China? China has been provoking
Yes.
time and again, like you said, no one is denying that.
But why this is happening?
And
The
then they
Prime
actually
Minister
resort to
apparently
propaganda
had-
and peddle lies and blame
Yeah, the
India.
Prime
They
Minister-
perhaps are getting armed with the fact that this kind of discussion happens within political parties in India because of politically different ideologies.
Nee, this has got nothing to do with internal issues. I repeat, my party's stand is unambiguously clear that we are absolutely with the government. Take stand against China. Take necessary steps against the army, which is making this illegal incursions. We are with the government, but you have to take us on board. We are not asking you to divulge the sensitive information, but have some principal discussion.
And the government is not denying that. The government is saying let the business of the house function as per agenda and we will discuss this.
Yes, discussion is needed to take the opposition on board. Have a
Sure, but
principled
there are
stand.
other
You
important
have to
list of
stand to-
businesses as far as both the houses of parliament are concerned. Why not that also happen?
But this is
Why
this
just
is
walk
not
out
a
of the Rajya
business.
Sabha
Oh my
because
God.
the discussion when you
This
wanted
is-
wasn't given?
This is a matter of serious importance. This is an urgent issue. This is also a business. What are you talking about, Madam Poonam?
I'm not saying this is
also
not a
very-
small issue. I'm
very
just saying
urgent issue.
it's the
Why the
opposition
government-
holding the parliament
They
ransom
come in-
that we want a
It
discussion.
is-
If you don't give
No,
it to
no,
us
no.
now,
The
we will walk out.
opposition
This is exactly what happened in Rajya Sabha today.
Opposition is
You can't hold
merely
the
asking
parliament
the
ransom,
government
sir.
to discuss. Opposition is not asking the government to divulge operational details. We are not asking that.
Sure.
We are saying that
And the government is saying we are open for discussion.
Yes. So let us discuss.
Then why
Government has to
walk out
discuss
because you
to
didn't get a
take the
discussion when you
opposition on board.
wanted it? Wait, have the patience for it.
What is the discussion? The 267 is not allowed. What are you talking about? It is not allowed. It is not being carried out. Under Rule 267, no discussion is being allowed. This is amply clear. This is in one instance. This has been happening for the last 5-6 years. I have given instances.
Sure. So Anila Singh, the government is not walking the talk is the allegation. The government says we want a discussion, but it never does so. And then it bulldozes initiatives, it bulldozes bills through the House because they have majority.
Instead, what do you do by using a power? You suspend the
First of all, I'd like to mention one thing here. I heard Congress spokesperson and I was hearing TMC's spokesperson as well. They are so confused, Lord. They are comparing our national security position from the bills of parliament. As I very well mentioned, and as LJP spokesperson, Mr. Saraf also mentioned that if you want to discuss about anything regarding national security, please go and meet RM. He is going to explain you everything, but it cannot be discussed on public platform. And Mr. Mandal, you did not listen when I gave you the statistics that how many square kilometers of land had been grabbed by China during Congress tenure, and you did not listen when I told you between 2008 and 2013, 600 times China attacked they attacked and crossed our borders. You did not listen that. And you're talking about our government. Let me tell you very well, sir, you knew that what happened in Galwan, what happened in Doklam, and the way our army stood against them. Mr. Antony said, the best defense is not to develop infrastructure on the border. This is Modi's government which is developing world-class infrastructure there, and we have got world-class equipments to fight back China.
Yes, Manoj
China
Mandal,
knows
go ahead.
it very well. And it is because of the policy of India, China is isolated in today's state.
Please, madam.
Yes, Anila Singh, you've made your point. Let the TMC spokesperson also reply.
That is why China is dead scared from our country.
Did I say symptomatic of the government side, not to allow others to speak?
And we have got
this is my turn, madam.
Equipments to fight back.
Madam, this is my turn. You are a government. What are you doing?
Forces of our country.
Let the opposition speak at least inside the studio.
The same party which said about
what is it? She has an automatic mode. Please stop her.
This is
Anila Singh, you've made your point.
What is it?
Anila Singh, you've made your point. I request all my panelists to let's have a civil discussion. We are very short on time. I just have a few more minutes before I close this debate. Anila Singh, you've made your point. Let Professor Manojit Mandal rebut. Then I also need to get in the Congress's spokesperson. Professor Mandal, go ahead.
What is this?
Attack Bharatiya Janata.
She seems to be on an automatic mode. Please switch her off.
I've requested her to not intervene. Please go ahead.
Madam, if you talk about the same narrative of what happened in the past, and this much of land has been taken away, reclaim them. You are a Modi government, 56 inch ka chhati. Why don't you reclaim those lands? Instead of harping on the same narrative every other day, reclaim them. We are with you. If you say that those lands were illegally grabbed or taken away from India, reclaim those territories from China or whatever. We are with you. But you cannot make politics with that what happened in 1961 or thereafter. That has become a favorite narrative for you. We are not politicizing the issue. We are saying we salute the soldier. We stand solidly behind the government. But the government has to take the opposition on board.
Absolutely, and like you said, the issue of national security should not be politicized by all parties. If you think the BJP is doing so, the centre is doing so, many would believe the opposition is doing so as well. And Wing Commander Acharya, I want to give you the last word. I'm running short of time. But as far as my first question goes, I open this debate with that question. Yes, you want a discussion. The government says, yes, we are ready to offer it. But just because you don't get it when you want it doesn't mean you walk out. Then you're holding the entire parliament to ransom.
Impatient.
Poonam, one thing for everybody's general knowledge. From 1947 to 2014, we have bought more than 1,600 aircrafts, and we are the fourth largest Indian Air Force of the world. So this is what happened during previous regime. Here 36 aircrafts have been purchased, and people are now boasting about this and that. No replacement has been provided again. Crashed aircrafts. Where is this government? Now 1,300 times our border has been intruded for the record's sake, and you can check back on that, because I don't want to just make fake narratives. And this is what has happened in this government's time. Then another thing is, why should we not ask about our commander Kulbhushan Jadhav? Till now he is in Pakistan. Where is that DSP Devinder Singh? These are also security concern questions in which BJP has been found guilty because they have not been providing any answers. So questions are piling up, Poonam. Questions are piling up. When are they going to reply? And is
Sure.
RM inviting any of the opposition leaders to his office? Is he inviting? Has anybody heard it? If you can't discuss in the parliament, then invite the people. They have been voicing their opinion. They have been requesting for it. Please call them. You are in the government. You have to call them.
But Wing Commander Acharya, like I said, I want an answer to the question I asked. Is it fair to
For
hold
nation,
Parliament
they are really
ransom?
very
That's
serious
all I'm
for
asking.
nation. Why don't they go to meet Honorable Defence Minister?
Wing Commander
What is the
Acharya,
issue?
that's
Why
all
don't
I'm
they go and
asking.
meet with
Why
Honorable
not
Defence
let
Minister?
business happen in both houses of
It's a
Parliament?
private affair.
I believe we've lost that line with Wing Commander Acharya, but I want to get in Anila Singh to respond to what exactly Wing Commander Acharya said. That you boast about what you're doing and put the blame squarely on your predecessors, and that's just been your pattern. It's for you to hide your shortcomings.
See, firstly,
You say the Raksha Mantri is ready for discussion. If not on the floor of the House, then why is he not inviting leaders of all parties and take them on board?
Firstly, Indian National Confused Party knows it very well that that they do not require any sort of invitation. Whenever they want to have an appointment from RM, they can take an appointment and RM is going to meet them. But they want to politicize the whole thing. That is why they are hovering around. Nothing more than that. This is a matter of our national security, and our armed forces are very strong on all the verticals, and we have got a very strong political willpower in our government. A very powerful, very strong prime minister is heading our nation. So definitely, no, not an inch of land has been grabbed by the China, as earlier we have seen. And I did
there is
not
also
tell you the
something
numbers.
Rajnath
I
Singh
gave
yesterday
you
on the floor of the House said
statistics
that
and what
our Indian Army ensured that the PLA troops who tried to transgress and illegally enter into our territory, they were pushed back to their commands, and that is what is the status as of now. Political fight over this continues though, and we are going to only see it escalate in Parliament in the coming days as the session continues. I thank all my panelists for joining us here on this broadcast with your perspective. We're shifting focus to more news coming in. It's the China link once again that has emerged, and provocations coming in from China on another front as well. This is over the server attack on AIIMS. CNN News 18 has now accessed the FIR that states that the attack originated from China. The investigation has also revealed that there were at least 100 servers. 5 physical servers were successfully infiltrated by the hackers. Data in 5 servers has now been successfully retrieved. So an attempt by Chinese hackers has been thwarted yet again. But China continues to open these kind of proxy wars on all fronts, even digitally. Anvit Srivastav, my colleague, now joins us for more on this. Yes, Anvit.
Yeah, see, now the probe findings have revealed, and the officers have come out, and they have said that it was China from where the ransomware attack had actually originated. And the initial findings, during the initial findings when these equipments were sent for forensic lab, and the results that have come out, they clearly suggest that it was a Chinese these were Chinese hackers who had attacked the AIIMS servers, and that this ransomware had originated from China. Now they have also said that there were total of 100 servers. Of them 40 are actually physical servers, while 60 of them are virtual, and 5 of these physical servers is what we are being told had come under attack, and through which the hackers had intruded. Actually, officials who had been probing this entire investigation have told us that all these 5 servers have now been restored, and that they have managed to save the data, which is now in safe hands, because as we know, the AIIMS is known to have a lot of research data and data of the VVIPs who get treated there, including the Prime Minister, the President. All the VVIPs are treated in AIIMS, and therefore their data was it was an apprehension that their data may have been compromised because of this entire attack. But now that the officials are saying that the server has been restored, and it looks like the situation is now in control, because it has been almost half a month. It was on November 23rd when this server came under attack, and after 2 days later, Delhi Police's special cell, that's the anti-terror unit, had registered a case, following which teams of CERT, teams of IB and other intelligence agencies, including cyber units, had also been rushed to AIIMS, and they had collected all the servers, and the equipments were sent for forensic examination. Now, following more than half of a month probe investigation into this, the officials have come on record, and they have said that situation has been now it is believed that situation has been normalized, and that all these servers have been restored now.
Right now, Anvit, right after the AIIMS ransomware attack, we also saw a similar attack on the ICMR website as well, 6,000 times in a day, if I'm not mistaken. Are similar links to China being investigated in that case as well?
See, the probe is certainly on in all the possible angles is what the police are saying right now. When we tried to reach out to some senior officials, they said that they have not received any particular complaint about such cyber attacks on ICMR website, even though there have been intimations and they are looking into it, but they yet to formulate it into an official complaint. But certainly this is because one such attack has been witnessed in AIIMS. So all these agencies are now on the red alert, and all these whatever the laxes were when it was initially reported that there were some lapses in firewalls and other cyber protections that the website like AIIMS had needed at that point of time, which failed to prevent these hackers from getting into it. So that failure is also being looked into, and ICMR is also a crucial area because all the COVID related research and all these medical researches lie there. So that is also one area these agencies are wanting to protect, and so far what we know is that there are no such emergencies as far as ICMR is concerned. But AIIMS, what the probe agencies are saying, that they have managed to restore it, and they have managed to restore all the data that was believed to have been encrypted, and to decrypt what the hackers had been demanding 200 crore rupees in cryptocurrencies. This has also earlier been reported, but this was completely refuted by Delhi Police's cyber cell. They had said that no such demand have been made. But today, as the officials have come out and said that the entire server has been restored, and all these 5 servers through which the hackers have managed to intrude through, they have now been brought back to normal.
Right, so all of the data has been retrieved, but China continues to provoke open war, so to say, on multiple fronts, at least proxy war as far as the digital era is concerned. And thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front. A quick break here on this edition of Nation at 5, but lots more lined up for you on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
करते हैं उनके सामने.
All right, colleagues with us right now to bring us more context. First, my colleague Pallavi Ghosh is with us this morning on the show to bring us more context. Pallavi, yesterday, parts of what Mallikarjun Kharge, who is the Congress president, had to say, A, that the statements had been largely empty. Also, the opposition demanding that Prime Minister Modi also step in and be answerable. Can you walk me through what the key questions of the opposition are and what their possible strategy today could be?
Well, and as we speak, that meeting which has been called by Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge has just about begun. And one of the main things that they're going to be working out is what is the strategy they can all together adopt to take on the government on the China issue. Apart from this, there are multiple adjournment notices which have been given by Gaurav Gogoi, Manish Tiwari, other political parties as well, like the Trinamool Congress. All that they're saying is that we want the adjournment of both the question hours in both the houses. There should be a short duration debate and discussion. Prime Minister must be present inside the House. Government's counter to this, of course, is that this is issues of national security. And when there are issues of national security, you cannot discuss it threadbare where it becomes public knowledge because there are concerns on which, which have to be addressed. So I don't know whether it's going to lead to any kind of a deadlock breaking between both the sides. But certainly, it's going to be a flare-up or possibly a repeat of what happened yesterday in Parliament. We'll have to, of course, go by what the Defence Minister had to say. Remember, there was an early morning meeting at his residence where the CDS, the Army Chief, all of them were there. He took inputs from them, and on the basis of that, that statement was put on the floor of the House. We heard what Sachin Pilot had to say a short while back. We've been hearing what Congress leaders have been saying. They've been always making this accusation against the government that, as far as the Chinese issue is concerned, the government has not really been honest about it. There have been several attempts being made by the Chinese, but the government has not acknowledged it. There has been a cover-up operation, and therefore the debate and discussion is important because that's the only way we can counter, the kind of counter the narrative which is being pushed forward by the BJP and the centre.
Okay. All right, Pallavi, if I could request you to stay with us, I want to walk our audiences through more reactions that have come in, then we'll connect once again with you in a second.
9 दिसंबर 2022 को पीएलए ट्रुप्स ने तवांग सेक्टर के यांगसे एरिया में लाइन ऑफ एक्चुअल कंट्रोल पर अतिक्रमण कर स्टेटस को एक तरफा बदलने का प्रयास किया। चाइना के इस प्रयास का हमारी सेना ने दृढ़ता के साथ सामना किया है अध्यक्ष महोदय, और इस फेस ऑफ में हाथापाई भी हुई है। भारतीय सेना ने बहादुरी से पीएलए को हमारी टेरिटरी में अतिक्रमण करने से रोका और उन्हें उनकी पोस्ट पर वापस जाने के लिए मजबूर कर दिया अध्यक्ष महोदय। इस झड़प में दोनों ओर के कुछ सैनिकों को चोटें भी आई हैं और मैं इस सदन को अवगत कराना चाहता हूं कि हमारे किसी भी सैनिक की न तो मृत्यु हुई है और न ही कोई गंभीर रूप से घायल हुआ है। इंडियन मिलिट्री कमांडर्स के टाइमली इंटरवेंशन के कारण पीएलए सोल्जर्स अपनी लोकेशंस पर वापस चले गए अध्यक्ष महोदय, और इस घटना के पश्चात एरिया के लोकल कमांडर ने 11 दिसंबर 2022 को अपने चाइनीज काउंटर पार्ट के साथ स्थापित व्यवस्था के तहत एक फ्लैग मीटिंग की और इस घटना पर चर्चा की। चीनी पक्ष को इस तरह के एक्शन के लिए मना किया गया और सीमा पर शांति बनाए रखने के लिए कहा गया। इस मुद्दे को चीनी पक्ष के साथ कूटनीतिक स्तर पर भी उठाया गया है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं इस सदन को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि हमारी सेनाएं हमारी भौमिक अखंडता को सुरक्षित रखने के लिए पूरी तरह से प्रतिबद्ध हैं और इसके खिलाफ किसी भी प्रयास को रोकने के लिए सदैव तत्पर है हमारी भारत की सेना। और मुझे विश्वास है कि यह सदन हमारी सेनाओं की वीरता और साहस को एक स्वर से समर्थन देगा। और अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं पूरी तरह से आश्वस्त हूं कि यह संसद बिना किसी संशय के भारत की सेना की क्षमता, शौर्य, पराक्रम व प्रतिबद्धता का भी अभिनंदन करेगा।
अरुणाचल में 8 की देर रात और 9 की सुबह घटी घटनाओं का हवाला देते हुए विपक्ष ने बहुमूल्य प्रश्नकाल को स्थगित करवा दिया। कांग्रेस सरकार ने चीन की धमकी के बाद हमारे रोड और वाइटल बॉर्डर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स का निर्माण डैम चौक में रोक दिया। ये दोगला रवैया जनता के सामने नहीं चलता है। जनता सब देख रही है कि राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन को 2005-6 और 2006-07 के वित्तीय वर्ष में चीनी दूतावास से 1,35,00,000 रुपए का अनुदान प्राप्त हुआ था। चूंकि एफसीआरए के कानून और उसकी मर्यादाओं के अनुरूप नहीं था, तो नोटिस देकर पूर्णतया कानूनी प्रक्रिया का अनुपालना करते हुए गृह मंत्रालय ने इसका रजिस्ट्रेशन रद्द किया कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार है, नरेंद्र मोदी इसके प्रधानमंत्री है और जब तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी की मोदी सरकार चल रही है, 1 इंच जमीन पर भी कोई कब्जा नहीं कर सकता।
Okay, let's go over now to my colleague Arunima to understand more. Arunima, if you could just explain to our audiences, this clash took place on the 9th of December. Since then, we've watched how the Defence Ministry, the Home Ministry have handled it publicly in terms of the statements they've put out and the attitude they've tried to project. But could you tell us, behind the scenes, what is the manoeuvring that is taking place right now?
So at the level of strategy, in terms of defense strategy, it has been left to South Bloc. And, there is some sense that this will not be an isolated incident. China has upped the ante. There has been development of infrastructure. There is a new tunnel to Arunachal Pradesh, which is all set to make life better for those who are traveling to that state. There are also tourism-related infrastructure at Yangtze. It's considered a...
Welcome back. Breaking news now coming in on Nation at 5, and this is a CNN News 18 exclusive. Pakistan's economic crisis continues, and sources are now telling your channel that the country has no money to run its missions abroad. Pakistan missions in the United States and European nations have written to the Foreign Ministry seeking the release of salaries backed up for 2 months, which amounts to about $5 million. The default risk is worsening with dwindling forest reserve as well. So the economy there in shambles as far as Pakistan is concerned. Abhishek, my colleague, now joins us for more details on this. And Abhishek, this is not surprising. We saw this coming, and perhaps the country did as well, because for several months now, Pakistan's missions across the world have been raising this alarm.
Of course, the issue of salaries and their day-to-day routine expenses have been very much, in trouble. And this is not the first time that Pakistani embassies have asked for selling their properties or assets or whatever it is, so that they can be paid their salaries and the regular expenses of the embassies and high commissions all across the globe. Earlier also we have seen Pakistani embassy in Egypt and other places raising such issues. So this is one of the symbolically tells how bad the situation of the economics and the financial condition of Pakistan is. And of course, if a country doesn't have the capacity to pay for its envoys and diplomats all across the globe, it tells the kind of but at the same time it has a fund and other assets which is created in the name of those infrastructure where it is supporting money laundering and other nefarious activities. In fact, India has been victim of cross-border terrorism, and a lot of money that goes into the hands of Pakistan's army and through ISI, and then it travels deep to the various terrorist organizations. So this has been reported in the past also, and now those issues have started showing the result of the Pakistan's real economy when it is short of paying its bill to its envoys and diplomats all across the globe.
Absolutely. The forex reserves, as far as Pakistan is concerned, is at its lowest since January 2019, and it is only going to dip further if predictions are to be believed. Pakistan will have to come up with a solid plan sometime soon, but that doesn't look like it's happening, say economists across the country and across the world as well. Abhishek, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that. With that, another quick break on this edition. Back in just 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Of what happened yesterday in Parliament. We'll have to, of course, go by what the Defence Minister had to say. Remember, there was an early morning meeting at his residence where the CDS, the Army Chief, all of them were there. He took inputs from them, and on the basis of that, that statement was put on the floor of the House. We heard what Sachin Pilot had to say a short while back. We've been hearing what Congress leaders have been saying. They've been always making this accusation against the government that, as far as the Chinese issue is concerned, the government has not really been honest about it. There have been several attempts being made by the Chinese, but the government has not acknowledged it. There has been a cover-up operation, and therefore the debate and discussion is important, because that's the only way we can counter, the kind of counter the narrative which is being pushed forward by the BJP and the centre.
Okay. All right, Pallavi, if I could request you to stay with us, I want to walk our audiences through more reactions that have come in. Then we'll connect once again with you in a second.
9 दिसंबर 2022 को पीएलए ट्रुप्स ने तवांग सेक्टर के यांगसे एरिया में लाइन ऑफ एक्चुअल कंट्रोल पर अतिक्रमण कर स्टेटस को एक तरफा बदलने का प्रयास किया। चाइना के इस प्रयास का हमारी सेना ने दृढ़ता के साथ सामना किया है, अध्यक्ष महोदय, और इस फेस ऑफ में हाथापाई भी हुई है। भारतीय सेना ने बहादुरी से पीएलए को हमारी टेरिटरी में अतिक्रमण करने से रोका और उन्हें उनकी पोस्ट पर वापस जाने के लिए मजबूर कर दिया, अध्यक्ष महोदय। इस झड़प में दोनों ओर के कुछ सैनिकों को चोटें भी आई हैं, और मैं इस सदन को अवगत कराना चाहता हूं कि हमारे किसी भी सैनिक की न तो मृत्यु हुई है और न ही कोई गंभीर रूप से घायल हुआ है। इंडियन मिलिट्री कमांडर्स के टाइमली इंटरवेंशन के कारण पीएलए सोल्जर्स अपनी लोकेशंस पर वापस चले गए, अध्यक्ष महोदय, और इस घटना के पश्चात एरिया के लोकल कमांडर ने 11 दिसंबर 2022 को अपने चाइनीज काउंटर पार्ट के साथ स्थापित व्यवस्था के तहत एक फ्लैग मीटिंग की और इस घटना पर चर्चा की। चीनी पक्ष को इस तरह के एक्शंस के लिए मना किया गया और सीमा पर शांति बनाए रखने के लिए कहा गया। इस मुद्दे को चीनी पक्ष के साथ कूटनीतिक स्तर पर भी उठाया गया है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं इस सदन को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि हमारी सेनाएं हमारी भौमिक अखंडता को सुरक्षित रखने के लिए पूरी तरह से प्रतिबद्ध हैं और इसके खिलाफ किसी भी प्रयास को रोकने के लिए सदैव तत्पर है हमारी भारत की सेना। और मुझे विश्वास है कि यह सदन हमारी सेनाओं की वीरता और साहस को एक स्वर से समर्थन देगा। और अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं पूरी तरह से आश्वस्त हूं कि यह संसद बिना किसी संशय के भारत की सेना की क्षमता, शौर्य, पराक्रम व प्रतिबद्धता का भी अभिनंदन करेगा।
अरुणाचल में 8 की देर रात और 9 की सुबह घटी घटनाओं का हवाला देते हुए विपक्ष ने बहुमूल्य प्रश्नकाल को स्थगित करवा दिया। कांग्रेस सरकार ने चीन की धमकी के बाद हमारे रोड और वाइटल बॉर्डर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स का निर्माण डैम चौक में रोक दिया। ये दोगला रवैया जनता के सामने नहीं चलता है। जनता सब देख रही है कि राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन को 2005-6 और 2006-07 के वित्तीय वर्ष में चीनी दूतावास से 1,35,00,000 रुपए का अनुदान प्राप्त हुआ था। चूंकि एफसीआरए के कानून और उसकी मर्यादाओं के अनुरूप नहीं था, तो नोटिस देकर पूर्णतया कानूनी प्रक्रिया का अनुपालना करते हुए गृह मंत्रालय ने इसका रजिस्ट्रेशन रद्द किया था। कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार है, नरेंद्र मोदी इसके प्रधानमंत्री है, और जब तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी की मोदी सरकार चल रही है, 1 इंच जमीन पर भी कोई कब्जा नहीं कर सकता।
Okay, let's go over now to my colleague Arunima to understand more. Arunima, if you could just explain to our audiences, this clash took place on the 9th of December. Since then, we've watched how the Defence Ministry, the Home Ministry have handled it publicly in terms of the statements they've put out and the attitude they've tried to project. But could you tell us, behind the scenes, what is the manoeuvring that is taking place right now?
So at the level of strategy, in terms of defense strategy, it has been left to South Bloc, and there is some sense that this will not be an isolated incident. China has upped the ante. There has been development of infrastructure. There is a new tunnel to Arunachal Pradesh, which is all set to make life better for those who are traveling to that state. There are also tourism-related infrastructure at Yangtze. It's considered a holy place for the Monpa Buddhists. So these infrastructural developments have not gone down well with China, which claims that the entire Arunachal Pradesh is theirs. Yeah, it's part of southern Tibet. And therefore, strategy-wise, there is this realization that we have to be prepared to perhaps face more Chinese attempts at changing the status quo. Politically, however, Home Minister Amit Shah has set the tone. Politically, they are not going to cow down. If the opposition, which is giving repeated adjournment motions, wants the House to not function, then so be it. They will be tackled outside the floor of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, where government will make an attempt to expose the opposition for thwarting Parliament and not letting key discussions happen.
इसमें केंद्र सरकार ने देखो, जब ये घटना घटी उसके 5 दिन बाद इसका स्टेटमेंट आया है, और ऐसा कुछ नहीं आया स्टेटमेंट में जो अखबारों में नहीं आ रहा है। तो सरकार को चाहिए डिबेट उस पर हो, चर्चा करें, विपक्ष के लोगों को कॉन्फिडेंस मिले। पूरे देश की एक जनता, एक नागरिक हमारी फौज के साथ खड़ी हुई है। इसमें पार्टी की कोई बात ही नहीं है। लेकिन हमारी सीमाओं पर अगर टेंशन है, अगर लगातार वहाँ आक्रमण हो रहा है या अतिक्रमण करने की कोशिश की जा रही है, तो उसको मुंह तोड़ जवाब देना चाहिए, और पूरा देश सरकार के साथ खड़ा है। लेकिन कम से कम बिना पारदर्शिता लाए हम कैसे आगे बढ़ेंगे? सच्चाई के साथ चर्चा करें और हमारे लोगों को संबल दें। हमारे जवान, हमारे सैनिक, हमारे फौजी, उन पर हमें फक्र है। हम अपना शीश नमन करते हैं उनके सामने।
All right, colleagues with us right now to bring us more context. First, my colleague Pallavi Ghosh is with us this morning on the show to bring us more context. Pallavi, yesterday, parts of what Mallikarjun Kharge, who is the Congress president, had to say, A, that the statements had been largely empty. Also, the opposition demanding that Prime Minister Modi also step in and be answerable. Can you walk me through what the key questions? Welcome back. The Belagavi border dispute between Maharashtra and Karnataka continues to escalate. Chief ministers of both those states, Basavaraj Bommai and Eknath Shinde, will be meeting Union Home Minister Amit Shah at about 7 p.m. tonight. The meeting comes days after the NCP, the Shiv Sena and the Congress delegation met Amit Shah here in the national capital and asked the centre to intervene. Now, the Mahavikas Aghadi has accused the Karnataka Chief Minister of making provocative and anti-Maharashtra statements and escalating this issue even as it is being played out in the courts of this country.
ನಾಳೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾಳೆ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ 7 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಜಿಯವರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಗೃಹ ಸಚಿವರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೆಚ್ಚುವರಿ ಸಚಿವರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ರಿಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಕೇಸ್ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ 2004 ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ನೂ ಎಂಟರ್ಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾದಂಥ ಗಡಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ನಿಲುವೇನಿದೆ, ಅಚಲವಾದಂಥ ನಿಲುವಿದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಫೋನ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಪ್ರತಿಪಾದಿಸ್ತೇನೆ.
There's going to be a high-level meeting which is going to take place in Delhi to resolve the entire Belagavi issue. The issue has escalated in last 15 days and now Home Minister has in a way summoned both the Chief Minister and they are going to meet.
It's a dictatorship of the Karnataka government which they have dictated that change the name from Belagavi to Belagavi. First and foremost thing, one must remember that while forming the linguistic states, the constitution had made a law on that. And for linguistic states, the Maharashtra has to fight for it. So 107 people sacrificed their lives for the formation of the Maharashtra state. For last 60 years, they are fighting for it. Now the case is pending in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Now that also is pending for a long time. I think Honorable Supreme Court should do it so more time. I mean, it's really a justice delayed for, and it is almost denied like this. The Chief Minister of Karnataka made evasive statements. Those were hurting the people.
Arunima, my colleague, now joins us for more on this. Arunima, at 7 p.m. is when we are expecting both the Chief Ministers to be meeting Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Can we expect a statement coming to the fore from either of the parties?
You could see some kind of a statement or a soundbite from the two chief ministers themselves, professing perhaps that this matter is pending in the court and therefore till the time the judicial pronouncement is not done, peace should be maintained, something on those lines, because that is what sources, BJP functionaries have been telling us every time we ask them about the tension in Belagavi. Home Minister has been asked to intervene. There is a delegation from Maharashtra comprising of the Mahavikas Aghadi constituents who have gone and said that you must ask the Karnataka Chief Minister to tone down his rhetoric against Maharashtrians. And that could be conveyed perhaps to the Karnataka Chief Minister. But if you also just keep it at the back of your mind that elections are due in Karnataka and therefore this issue is being seen through the political prism as well, we'll just have to wait and see if Home Minister himself says anything.
Right, whether we can expect a statement from the Home Minister's office, that of course remains to be seen. But this also comes at a time when the winter session of the State Assembly in Karnataka is going to be held in Belagavi. The allegation that Maharashtra has been making is that even though this case is sub judice, there are provocative statements coming to the fore from ministers and leaders from Karnataka because it suits their political narrative.
Absolutely, and that's what I said, that elections are around the corner. This is an evocative issue, and that's the allegation that has been made by Maharashtra leaders, that there is a method to this madness. This entire issue is being rigged up again, even though it is sub judice, because they want to reap political dividends out of it. They asked for the Home Minister, Union Home Minister's intervention for two reasons. A, because both at the centre and in the states of Karnataka and Maharashtra, it is BJP which is in power. And B, as far as centre-state relations are concerned, that is something which that division falls under Ministry of Home Affairs. And that is the reason why Home Minister has been asked to intervene, both as one of the political heavyweights in BJP and as the Union Home Minister. Now, what kind of intervention happens, whether this will be a public, statement that is made to give out the message that both for people of Maharashtra and Karnataka, it is a judicial pronouncement which they should await and violence should be suspended. And what happens on the ground, even if such a statement is made on the ground, do you see any immediate change? That we'll have to wait and see.
Right, whether there is any change or not on ground, and whether this meeting is enough to quell the anger that we see both in Karnataka and in Maharashtra, in the border towns especially, that remains to be seen. But for the moment, Arunima, thank you so much for that latest. With that, it's a wrap from me on this edition. But news and updates continue here on CNN News 18. Zaka Jacob joins you next.
Good evening, this is Viewpoint. I'm Zaka Jacob. The clash at the line of actual control in Yangtze between Indian and Chinese troops is the latest in a new pattern of incursions that we're seeing from Galwan in 2020. Soldiers engaged in unsophisticated weapons like clubs and sticks and machetes, having a go at each other like it was a hostile fight. This is an undated, unverified video that's going viral on the internet. This is not from the latest clash in Tawang. This is not what soldiers are trained for, nor is it what they should be doing. Soldiers are trained for war. They are trained to use their weapons against the enemy. They are trained to defend their territory, every inch of it. And the reason why this has descended into a fisticuff of sort is because China has deliberately tried to change the status quo unilaterally. It is trying to grab land. It is trying to salami slice. And to do that by stealth using almost Neanderthal weapons. How should India be prepared for this new normal? How should India respond to what is a new form of warfare? And remember, China has been using similar tactics against Japan, Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, other countries with whom too it has territorial disputes. But first, the story of the day so far.
Absolute pandemonium in Parliament for the second straight day over the India-China skirmish in Arunachal Pradesh. Despite a statement from the defence minister, the opposition staged a walkout from both houses after they were refused a discussion on the issue.
भारत और चीन के बीच जो अप्रैल 2020 से तनाव चल रहा है, उस पे एक बार भी संसद में चर्चा नहीं हुई। चीन क्यों तनाव बढ़ा रहा है सरहद के ऊपर, इसके लिए संसद में एक व्यापक चर्चा की जरूरत है।
Why Parliament was kept away from this information? China is the state country which cannot be trusted. We have experienced it. Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. From that day onwards, we are experiencing China's very betraying us. They are evil. They are invaders.
While the face-off at the LAC has divided Indian politics, the international community has taken a stand. The US has sent a stern and unambiguous message to China.
It does reflect, though, and it's important to point out, the growing trend by the PRC to assert itself and to be provocative.
We are glad to hear that both sides appear to have quickly disengaged from the clashes. We are closely monitoring the situation. We encourage India and China to utilize existing bilateral channels to discuss disputed boundaries.
More than 2 years after the deadly Galwan clashes, China tried to repeat it in Tawang. Around 3 in the morning on the 9th of December, 300 Chinese troops tried to capture icy heights around Yangtze. Capturing the heights would have given them visibility of up to 25 to 30 kilometers. Hence, there's no need for patrolling in the harsh winter months. But Indian troops stood their ground and sent the People's Liberation Army packing to their posts.
भारतीय सेना ने बहादुरी से पीएलए को हमारी टेरिटरी में अतिक्रमण करने से रोका और उन्हें उनकी पोस्ट पर वापस जाने के लिए मजबूर कर दिया। अध्यक्ष महोदय, इस झड़प में दोनों ओर के कुछ सैनिकों को चोटें भी आई हैं और मैं इस सदन को अवगत कराना चाहता हूं कि हमारे किसी भी सैनिक की न तो मृत्यु हुई है और न ही कोई गंभीर रूप से घायल हुआ है।
China first tried to downplay the incident and then played the victim card, accusing India of illegally crossing over.
据我们了解，目前中印边境局势总体平稳，双方一直通过外交和军事渠道就涉边问题保持畅通的沟通，希望印方同中方相向而行，认真落实两国领导人达成的重要共识。